No,
Lishi.
Lishi Avenue. Bye.
This is 1204 Lishi.
Ooh, it's hot up here. But it's big.
Goodness, there's a lot of room up here. See upstairs.
Bathroom, kitchen, everything.
That is like a little kitchen, isn't it?
Yep.
Little kitchenette kind of
You
thing.
got a bath up there. But, and you got a window air conditioner.
No point in turning it on if you're...
Big, huge
See,
closet.
the kids that are downstairs, when the mother was alive, lived up here.
Oh, those are the kids.
Those are the kids.
He's kind of shooting everything because once we get home we start talking about what now wait which house
That's the truth.
we looked at one the other day and we were
House, I'm like, no, there's no dining room. He's like, yes, there is. No, there's not. Yes, there is.
yeah there is, there was a dining room.
Some repairs that would have to be done, but that would be to your advantage.
Yeah.
So, I would say that they'd have to repair the roof.
$49.9. Can you hold him for a little while?
This is 804 North 14th Street. You're gonna go knock and see if she's here. No answer?
No answer.
Carport. Now this right here is a back room, an add-on. That needs
Pretty
to be
well done, add-on,
replaced.
actually.
Yeah, it's pretty fully realized add-on. The storage shed that stays. That's a carport. Let me make sure here.
Can you see in that window to see the kitchen?
No, that's the breakfast nook right there.
Like if you
There's-
if you stood here on the thing for the basement, can you see in that top? Hope we don't get arrested. See if you can see in the front.
Saw the back thing that's a bedroom, then the two bedrooms here, the dining room. It's not her. Thought it was. I looked out and saw a truck. You know, on like the French doors. And like this here.
And the interior
And
stuff.
the interior stuff that you can do one room at a time and take a year to do. Like Jeff and Stewart kind of thing. But
I think
it
it's a great
doesn't
house.
suck.
It's a great house. Covered that thing up.
I wish they had too.
Hi! Okay, get him.
I'm getting him. He's just so cute.
Isn't he?
Look at his little
Sweet.
Popeye faces. Hey, Boo.
Johnny bug. Okay.
What?
We had Madison Fence Company fixed it up. And we have it all around our back. And the nice thing about this, you could put you some double gates there.
Yeah.
The boy has fixed a private fence there and have a nice fence.
Yep. There's no lights anymore.
Yeah, the lights are out. That's okay.
Well, that thing do anything in the living room down pretty light.
Yeah, it's
Here,
got
let me pull up
two
these
locks, so it'll take
blinds
pictures.
to get a little smidgen more light.
Oh, this is fine. Yeah, I just want to get just a basic idea.
Where's the other chump?
He did not want to come. He hates house looking.
Oh,
He's genetically predisposed to be irritable about house looking.
So yeah, this is a lot.
You know, this is a lot more closed off than I remembered. It's really a lot more private than I remember this.
I was gonna say that whole thing with the wall we can.
That gummit.
I'm sorry.
Do you know whether all these appliances do indeed work? It's your opinion that
it's my
they do?
opinion that they do.
Okay.
It's also my opinion they're all fairly, you got some age on them?
Well, these wouldn't be like our dream appliances, but we're coming right from an apartment, so.
Right. So
Get your phone.
better have something than nothing. Right.
Mhm.
Hello? Hello?
Are they gonna leave this?
2450.
I want everything I can get.
I don't blame you.
Right. Thanks.
What about the furniture
Stuff in
that I
here.
see? Is that not Mary's?
No, that's Mr. News. And presumably she's gonna come get it.
Okay.
I would think so.
We're probably better off to ignore it and then if it's still here and you want it.
Okay, let's just ignore
Okay,
it.
here's the dining room.
I bet you they took those French doors out because of the heat.
Probably so. See, you're right about painting that. Make that white. But that would be very pretty.
I think so.
Because it's already pretty here.
I cannot stand this carpet.
Have a look under it.
What did you
You
say?
can get around a vent, you can look under it to see your floors under there. Color.
It's thick and everything. It's just such an ugly color.
Well, you can always get a company to come out and dye your carpet, and they can do a hell of a job with that.
I never heard of that.
Oh, yeah, it's...
Oh, yeah.
Not legal.
I think I get it.
Okay,
Oh.
here we
The ever popular texture ceiling with glitter.
go.
I like it's so camp. I love it.
Yeah, well,
I do. I love it.
we're a little
And
guy.
I like this. Actual stockings hung by the mantle with care.
Well, that's true, but
Picture
the
it.
ceiling's gotta go. I'm sorry, baby, but the ceiling's
I
gotta
love
go.
the ceiling. We'll talk about it later.
It's horrible looking.
Looks like wood floors to
Yeah,
me.
it's hardwood. It looks, of course, it's hard to know. A lot of times people carve it just because it was the thing to do.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, with all the
Like
kids,
To you or
It
pine?
looks like oak. This period house should have oak. Now the bedrooms could be pine.
Okay, speaking of that.
This is the kind of.
Bedroom, well, okay.
I'm sorry, we don't like.
It's all right. This will get enough.
No.
It's the first bedroom off the,
Different.
No, this is small. This is much smaller.
off the,
This is like baby room size. Not pink.
She actually had a youth.
What's this? Is this an outside room?
okay, now we're going through here. Here's that storage thing that
So
scared
now it
me.
doesn't exist as anything, right?
Correct.
It's
In the
just-
laundry room and wall.
You can't really see that very well.
Get it?
This is a little baby type small bedroom. Well, I don't imagine that's too much smaller than Will's room is now.
This?
Yeah.
No, this is much smaller than Will's room. This is about the size of baby's room.
Okay.
Will's gonna have the back bedroom.
Okay. Knock knock.
Yeah, if we can get behind it.
Could be something like a closet.
Now this door here goes down to the basement, I take it. So storage closet.
That's a storage closet.
There's probably just a hole in a closet somewhere.
Oh, okay. What would a Luke? Looking like.
You see?
Yeah, it's too
I mean, it's pretty good wood. I think it's real pin.
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
No.
That'll, I'm talking.
I know, I can't wait to get that. Let's take it off now. I would like to redo this. I saw one of those This Old House programs where they were redoing the
Formica.
Formica or whatever. And man, that looked like fun. They're taking all these little tiles, you know, and smearing them with this mayonnaise textured stuff.
Oh, they were doing tile countertop.
Yeah. Looked cool.
Jeff and Stuart have a nice tile countertop.
Yeah, that
I
gray.
like that.
I
That
like
gray
that.
rough.
I talked to
That's really
Jeff last night and I begged him to come help us with colors since we have no taste between the two of us.
We have a.
There's probably an access somewhere.
I found it. It's in the front
Closet.
coat closet.
No, that's one thing I missed. My first life I worked for the state. I used to get a lot of good stuff.
In fact, here you may keep this. It's a State of Tennessee.
I said the two things I
Parks
missed when I
and-
left working for the state were one, the good quality pens I'd have to pay for, and the two was the 30 minutes I could use reading my paper and using the restroom in the mornings. The two things. Where's everybody? I need to go. We can
Is this an essential piece of wood, or is this?
I think it's another leaf for this table.
Oh, okay.
That's what I believe it is. It seems to match. Okay. If you pay $55,000. This is approximately how much money you would need. These costs are going to vary a little bit because our computer's not as smart as it actually is, but the bottom line will be fine. Every lender's they're going to charge you 1% to make the loan, and on $55,000 you're actually borrowing $53,750. Come back to that. The appraisal is actually $300, and the credit report is actually $49, but it'll even out on down here. The computer estimates your insurance at $331. I'm thinking $300 will be more than ample.
Okay.
I mean, you can shop and select your own, but you should be able to get it for $300 or less.
Okay.
It's priced house. Then you pay your first year premium. Then they put 2 months of it into escrow, so you'll have enough next year when it comes up for renewal. That's $55. Then your taxes. I did this closing at the end of September. They would put 11 months of your taxes. I'm sorry, they would put a full year of your taxes into escrow because they want to have enough in there October 1 to pay them. However, you would get 9 months from the seller. In other words, she owned it January through September, so they're going to charge her $454. It's her share of the year. So you're really only putting only 3 months into escrow.
Okay.
95 and 50 are your closing fees that are set by FHA. The attorney can charge you.
Okay.
The seller will give you what is termed an owner's title insurance policy, which guarantees you clear title. They will pay the higher premium. You'll provide the mortgage company one and ride on top of it, or what they term simultaneous issuance. So your charge is only $40. These next three are simply state and metro transfer tax and recording fees, that are a function of the sales price. And then you always get the mortgage company always has a survey done, although they don't come out and stake it. They draw the house on the lot to ensure there's no encumbrances or anything strange.
Okay.
It's $125. So those are your closing costs.
What about inspection? Like a
That is not it's not in here.
Okay. What is that? How much money?
Most of them are going to be in the neighborhood of $200. That's a full-blown home inspection where they come in and check every outlet, every plug, water, blah 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 blah.
Don't you think that would be a good idea?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I think we should
I think-
consider that to
Count
be
that
in
in
there.
there.
Right. So as I said, that's because that's an optional thing. These are the absolute requirements under an FHA. Then what I added in THD has a $100 funding fee. And then this says we're closing the 30th day of September, so if you closed a few days early, you may have some interest, because they always charge interest from the day you close to the end of the month.
Okay.
And then if you closed at the end of September, you would not have a payment until November 1.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Interest is paid in arrears on a mortgage. Doesn't make any sense. That's the total front-end cash. Then your monthly will be,
This is a 55 or so.
this is at 55. And the principal and interest on a maximum loan, the FHA works is a little squirrely. pay 55, your maximum loan's 53,750, okay? However, FHA has a mortgage insurance premium, which is, FHA is nothing but an insurance company, government sponsored. So they charge, it's now 2.25%, the computer thinks it's 3%, but this will only make it a little higher. It's a lower. Okay, they let you finance that. So while you put money down, by the time you finance this funding fee, you really wind up borrowing on 55,316. Actually, it's a little less than that since that's gone down 3/4%. So they double dip. You do that, and then they have a monthly insurance charge too. So your payment will be made up of the following. That's the principal and interest. Then we have 1/12 of our taxes, which are rather high on this house. They're $608. That would be, let's say, $51. Okay. We got 1/12 of our insurance, which I'm saying 25 should be adequate. And we have a monthly FHA insurance charge of $21.74. And of course 13, carry 1, 4, 5, 10, 10, 15, 18.
You gotta be kidding.
And that's at
Shit.
7.75%, which is the prevailing THGA rate.
They're talking about making it go up, so I hope we can get it.
Well, rates seem to have stabilized. Now, and again, what was this cap for accounting for? 39.9? So you think you'll be within that, okay? I mean, you're talking 0.75% right now, difference between it and a fixed rate FHA. And that would probably, the difference would be payment wise.
And that's gonna be in this part, so it's not.
Be about $35 a month difference. So, you know, if for some reason you were over the limit or something, it's not gonna,
You mean as far as our income?
right.
Don't
I think you'll be okay.
Way under that. I did
We're
a guesstimate the other
We're
day,
the
about
ultimate
32.5.
budget ties. You may notice we don't have new cars upon.
Well, when a person drives up in an open house in a brand new car, you immediately figure, well, you know, they got a $500 a month car payment, so they can't afford to buy a house.
That's a good point.
So,
Anyway,
That's
that
one
looks
of the things
terrific.
that you would notice that we go into.
We
That does
certainly-
look great. I mean,
Certainly
that's,
could afford that.
and every
Certainly.
1,000 at 7.25 is like $7.17.
Yeah.
So if you went up to 57.5, you'd be up $18. So it would be
$500.
50.
$510. What? Jeez, that's great.
I just hope we.
So we can hope they'll swing it.
So those are
Okay.
the actual
It's
numbers.
hard to tell.
Now,
Now, what I had done was drafted kind of an offer, which I'll run through and then I'll let you read. There's 3 things I need to give you here. What about the third one? I mean, I probably did. Okay, one of you read this
I'll read.
while I'm talking about this other. That FHA says that if you're buying a house built before 78, you must be told that house built before 78 may have lead paint in it.
I thought about that already.
And therefore you must be cautious. And your highest risk group are kids under the age of 7. So that's what that is advising you to be careful.
Okay.
Oh, because the child eats the lead.
Right. People who don't have kids under the age of 7, it's not nearly a high
I was
risk.
trying to picture Will eating paint.
Well, Johnny, he just doesn't put anything in his mouth very much.
Well, the 3
weird.
ways it can happen, as I understand it, is if a chip of paint came off, okay, then the top's probably not lead. It's probably been painted in the last 10, 15 years. But at the bottom, it'll adhere, okay, so you may have lead on the bottom. Second is, if you decide you got a wild hair and you want to strip all this woodwork, okay, the bottom paint is probably lead. Okay, so that by chemical or sanding or heat stripping, you could release the lead. The most problematic is the sanding of it,
Because it's
creating
so
a
that
fine.
you breathe it.
Yes.
Are there any recommendations?
As long as if you were going to, I don't know what you're planning on. Woodwork is really the only major problem you've got inside and outside, because it would probably have lead on the bottom.
Right.
If you're going to leave it painted,
Just paint
no
over
big
it.
deal. You'll paint over it, it'll seal in.
Yeah.
If you had a place that began to chip, repair it, seal it back in. If you're going to get into disc sanding or anything, that's when you really need to do.
Yeah.
Like maybe out of the house and have somebody else do it.
Right. For example,
They
I
come
know
back
of
in
2
later.
instances that have had lead poisoning. One of them, adult, who worked on a lot of these old houses and used a disc sander on these frame houses because he wanted to get all the alligatoring off. And after he'd done a number of houses, he became lethargic. And it was only after the cats at one house got in and got sick that anybody began to think about that as a problem.
Wow.
They say if you go in for a normal blood test, they don't test for lead.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the second was a small child who was in a house and they were doing the outside of the house. Again, dissanding, and the dust came through the window and impacted the child. So it can be. Okay, this is, again, this can change any way you want it to. Okay, this is just a starting draft, okay? It may be the ending draft, but it could, okay.
Well, we discussed that.
Okay, this is today's date. She's the seller, you're the buyers, assuming it's spelled correctly.
Yeah,
That's right.
looks great.
Earnest money would be $250. This is the address. Your offer would be $55,000, which would be all cash to the seller, contingent upon you obtaining an FHA THDA loan at that rate. This says if consideration provides for a buyer obtaining a loan, you would make a loan application within 5 working days of acceptance. Back taxes would be paid by seller. That's what I was pointing out over there. Current year's taxes would be prorated. She's charged for her share of the year. She probably doesn't have an escrow deposit on it, but she may. That's for her taxes and insurance. If she did it, we get canceled because you're setting up a new one.
Okay.
The hazard insurance will be canceled because you'll be putting new owner-occupied homeowners on. I just made note that you've already basically planned to make a loan application that date. That would fall within that. If it's a new FHA loan, loan and closing costs will be paid by the buyer, and prepaid costs will be paid by the buyer. Seller will pay loan discount points up to a maximum of 0 because on THGA we don't have any discount points.
Okay.
And that seller will pay for codes inspection if required, and for repairs as may be required by FHA prices up to a maximum of $1,800. That's just a wild guess number.
Right.
And then I basically made note that $1,800 to specifically include upgrading electrical service to a minimum of 100 amp breaker box and removal of all invisible knob and tube wiring, as well as any other FHA required repairs, so that if FHA for some reason missed the electric, she's still expressly required
in the contract.
to upgrade it. Contract contingent upon buyers having property inspected by engineer contractor of your choice. Subject inspection must be satisfactory to you or the contract's null and void, but you would go ahead and do the inspection within 14 days of having a contract. So
Okay.
you don't sit here till the end and tell the seller, well, no, I'm not going to buy it.
Great.
Kind of deal. Closing would be on or before the end of September. Possession would be that date. All window treatments remain. Stove and refrigerator are to remain, window air conditioner to remain, and then that's actually an air conditioner and a heater in that back room.
Oh, okay.
It does both, supposedly. That the seller has to give you a clear termite letter which says that a licensed company came out and inspected the house and is certifying that there are neither any termites nor is there any damage from termites. If there is any damage, it has to be repaired. If there are any termites, it must be treated.
Okay.
So that letter. And basically what happens, the liability passes from the seller to the termite company.
Because they've written the letter and taken
Right,
responsibility.
right.
Okay.
Title insurance says that the seller is going to provide you a title insurance policy guaranteeing you that Ms. Donahue does in fact own it, that there are no other liens other than those that are being paid off. And the only thing that's going to be owing is the loan you're going to put on it. And that all back taxes are paid, anybody that's done work on the house has been paid, blah, blah, blah. It's your guarantee that everything's okay.
Okay.
Not on condition, but on title.
Right. Understand.
That makes sense. Default, this says once we have a contract, and if all conditions are met, such as the inspection and financing, and you just arbitrarily change your mind, you could lose your earnest money, and she could actually sue you for performance. Likewise, once you had a written contract, if she got a better offer and tried to get out of it, you could sue her for performance, basically a binding document.
Okay.
Warranty says that everything's to be in good working order the day you buy it, okay? And that it's our responsibility to check it out thoroughly prior to closing, because closing constitutes acceptance.
Okay. I have a question. If something like a window air conditioner is included in the contract,
Right.
is that covered under this?
Under this provision, it is.
Okay. I got it.
Now, she may come back and say, for example, I had one just recently where the ice maker had been disconnected intentionally. We didn't know whether it worked or not because it hadn't been turned on in 5 years. So we simply disclosed that, we're excluding that from it because we know it's disconnected.
Okay.
So she may know that there's a problem with something. Also, if you're having a home inspection, they will check the appliances and turn them on, check the temperature, and
Great.
so you would have And that's the other reason I really like to have a home inspection, because you know what you're getting on the front end, and then we have a benchmark before we close.
Right.
So because an old house, it's a little bit of a gray area.
Oh, sure.
What constitutes good working order, but if you had it checked out the first couple of weeks, then you've got a benchmark that it's still working comparably.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Disclaimer is basically cover your rear end. It says that I haven't you're making the decision of your own free will. That I haven't told you the house is going to be worth $100,000 next year, et cetera, et cetera. You're not relying on anybody else.
Well, except for that gun thing.
Right, which we'll shoot you. That whatever is part of the agreement must be in writing.
Okay.
Okay, in other words, if she said the drapers will stay and we didn't put it in, then we don't have any guarantee
Okay.
that it's going to stay. This does not apply because that's if you were getting a VA loan. This applies if you're getting a THD loan.
Okay.
And again, repeats, buyer agrees to purchase said real estate and pay therefore the sum of $55,000 on the following terms: all cash subject to buyer's ability to secure an FHA THD loan in the amount of maximum, and that it must appraise for $55,000.
We don't think you're going to come with that, especially since the last appraisal only said it had 5 rooms.
Right, and it was at 60. I don't have to see any problem with that. And that the seller will pay a commission, 3% to Century 21 and 3% to. And then this, I have to disclose to you, which in this case is not a problem, who I'm legally representing. In this case, because it's listed with another company, I can legally represent you.
Mm-hmm.
So this just says I've disclosed to you that I'm legally representing you.
Okay.
If it were our listing, then I would be legally representing the seller,
Mm-hmm.
because I've already created that relationship,
Mhm.
virtual listing. And then that says that you won't eat the lead base or allow your children.
What if we're really, really hungry?
Right. You know, it's the kind of thing you really don't think much about until you know somebody. And the guy that I knew who got it from sanding, he had to wind up having a hip replacement. I mean, it really gets in your bones, and then you have to have your blood leached to get it out of the blood, and then it comes out of the bone into the blood. It's really a debilitating sort of thing.
Ricky's gonna
Oh!
spray sealant over the
Sorry.
entire interior of the house. He's gonna get some caulk. And
Are we supposed to just sign everything now?
Yeah, go ahead and sign.
Junk.
You be the buyer on that. That changes size.
Well, I just want to know the dryer's vented.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought surely there was a place, but I never did see it.
How could they have run a dryer back
Right,
there without?
particularly inside the house.
But yeah, it is vented back there.
You be the man buyer. You sign on the top one. Okay, so you're gonna go see Juanita in a minute?
I will take this to Donna, and then she will go see Juanita. Now,
We give you a check now?
Uh-huh. But it doesn't have to be good yet. But it'll be made out to Century 21 seals, since they're the listing. And I'm giving you a copy of everything you just signed, plus I'm giving you these numbers,
Thank you.
so that you can dwell on that over the weekend.
Century 21.
Seals realtors.
$250?
$250. And the only point of confusion, I don't know what she'll do on numbers, is exactly where she stands with this auction thing. But my feeling is if she's already gotten down the track and can't get out, and you still want the house, and assuming the house sells for less than $55,000 at auction, or whatever our contract price is, we could probably get an investor just to buy it and sell it to you, make their pay. I mean, auctions are really amazing, because this year, sometimes they've been getting more than I can actually get on the open market. But normally they'll bring 85% or so of market.
Did you want me to post-date this or leave
It's
it
fine.
today?
No,
Okay.
it's fine, but we won't do anything with it until
I have got to
You can
change
just
this
set-
check register. Just a second. Let me write this down
Okay,
before
before
I
you
forget
forget.
it.
Packard Drive. I know where Packard is.
Back over there in
Is
the
that
old-
1716?
It is.
That is
Yes.
1716.
Okay.
Thank you. Are you psyched up?
Heart and throat.
You can even find the house now. You know where it is.
Oh,
What?
we don't have any problem.
You can even
Glenn
find
is
the house now.
Mr. Magic. I mean, he is really good with directions and stuff. So if our credit is crappy and they laugh at us and blanch visibly,
Well, normally we can document, FHA gives us a lot of latitude. So, I mean, if you've always been late on everything you've ever had, then that would be a problem. But, you know, if it's isolated things that we can explain, you know, then we should be okay.
okay.
Well, that's pretty much where we are. Anything that we've got, we can easily pull back as well.
And, you know,
unemployed for that period. And
You know, anything that they particularly like excuses that are anything catastrophic, like health or, so with his surgery, et cetera, right, that's clearly
He also has kidney stones. So we've had several kidney stone related expenses.
We've had several
He even had kidney stones the very night before my first son was born. We were in different hospitals.
It was sympathy pains.
No,
Oh, man.
it
Don't
was
they say
kidney
that's the
stones.
closest that a man can have to having
It's serious
birth?
pain. It hurts like hell.
I drove him to the emergency room nearest us. And I was registered in the birthing room at another hospital, drove myself there later on that morning. So we all have bracelets saying the same day.
I know, it's kind of funny. They're all in Wells Park.
Is that the first child or the second?
The first.
First,
The first. So,
yeah, we just got our fingers crossed.
Can I fold all this,
We've,
John? Okay.
Sure.
you know, I know a lot of people probably look at a great many houses before.
Well,
they decide what
it
they
varies
want to do.
tremendously, and of course, my contention is it depends if people know what they're looking for, then they'll know when they see it, and that could be the first house you look at. It could be the 70th house that you look at. If people don't know what they're looking for, then they're never going to know it
Yeah.
when they see it. So they may be
Well,
looking
all
for 3
we
years.
were looking for was essentially the amount of room we would need, or that we could accommodate to a certain degree of. A house had to have a certain charm to it. We couldn't move into a Steven Spielberg cookie box kind of thing, you know. And
I
you
think
just
you'll
like his house.
acclimate well to
There's a
the
lot of stuff.
neighborhood.
Well, I like it already.
I mean, it's very eclectic, it's very diverse, but there's an awful lot of good people. And
Oh, I forgot to tell you. I called on a house for from Pat Garland. And I
Oh my
called
God.
and I talked to her just a
Do you know who
second.
that is?
And she said,
is she in Hendersonville?
no, she's here. She's local, I think. But I really couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But anyway, she goes, you're not the Diane Mayo that's in real estate. I said, no. I said, but my parents are in real estate in Texas, where I'm from. And she said, okay. And I asked her about these two houses. She goes, well, I can tell from talking to you that you won't be interested in either one of them. And I said, what do you mean? I said, is it a high crime area?
Just
or
because my parents are real estate doesn't mean I have a lot of money.
No, it wasn't. It was cheap. I said, is it a high crime area or something? She goes, well, no. I said, well, what's the matter with it? She goes, I can't say too much. And I'm like, okay. I said, let me just tell you, I don't care what color a person is as long as they're a good person. You know, and she was like, okay.
Well, you can take a look if you want to, but I'm.
It was really weird. It was like Twilight Zone.
It's like, I can't believe you're saying this.
Well, sometimes people haven't quite adapted to the 90s,
It's okay. I'm over it.
but that's,
But I'm glad I wasn't some newscaster black woman.
yeah. There's another agent who goes off the deep end the other way. You know, people say, well, what's the neighborhood like? And of course, they're obviously inferring racial. And rather than just, you know, give a general vague answer, he'll say, I simply don't know. He's sold like, you know, 100 houses the last 10 years over this little pocket. So
I
it's
have
like,
no idea.
well, I mean,
Well, when I ask, I mean,
It's
you know,
a tough,
like,
you know.
is the street busy? Are there old trees or new trees?
How many times has it been broken into in the last weeks? That's what I want to know.
or if your parents are in real estate in Texas, you can't obviously want to live there like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
They'll tell you.
this is a logical tie-in.
I have a house right now that an investor redid that
All of those.
is a rare situation in that it is the only vacant house on the whole block, and the entire block is completely black. But it is a block from all white areas. I mean, it's really an odd little situation. And you know, it's been really interesting to watch people, particularly like an open house, who come and really, really love the house, and then they come.
Well, I've got to say, I don't think we have a single white neighbor in our apartment complex. Our
We're the-
particular
we're the white
building and north
folks.
side, we're like the only white people.
But I understand where they're coming from. You know, to be the only white person on the block is
Yeah.
different than being.
When we were looking at
one
the
of-
other house, I said, we were saying that thing like, we looked at another house, when was it? Day before yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And it was I don't want to be the only one.
Right. And that's what
miles around. It's not like
We may not have a problem, but somebody else may have a
It's like, I
problem.
don't know. I don't want to be the only one.
I gotta get out of here. I'm sweating to death.
Yeah, it's a little, I'm sorry.
It's not really that hard.
Okay, I'll take this to Don. It could be, let's see, let me get you, Diane, now that you put your pen up.
Okay.
Um,
Didn't I give you that pen? Did I tell you
no,
that?
I'll give it back to you.
Why don't you let him keep that pen?
No, I was
Just
gonna say-
pitiful. Doesn't have a pen.
It's in my, see, I don't have my normal vehicle today, so I'm like, I have nothing that I can, what I want you to do is write down, I've got it at the office, so I'll have it in one place.
Okay.
Both your numbers, so I'll have quick
Oh,
reference.
like on the top up here?
Yeah, your home and office.
Okay.
I'm all wadded up in the...
Home is usually Glenn, and my office is 7831359. And then Glenn's office, he works in a restaurant, so he's hard to get a hold of.
Okay.
So somebody will be at one of those numbers.
You want your pen?
No, I want
I
you
have
to
a
have
pen in the car.
I believe
Who
you.
do you work for?
Farmers Home Administration.
Okay. That's federal.
Yes,
Okay, that's not
it's federal. No, that's just something I got at the Southern Women's Show.
It's a miracle we got keys to get in here.
Is it?
Ms. Doodoo said, "Oh no, I would not think of keeping a key to that house." But Mary was just here. She just lives around the corner.
Oh, that's good.
That's your security system, right over there.
I'll tell you.
They're really nice people. They keep the place very nice. She said,
They
well,
do.
somebody
I mean,
nice
that
buys
is
it. We're going to stay a
spotless.
few years, but somebody bad buys it. We're moving to Florida. We can go there and run.
Is that what you said?
Well, she told us she hoped we bought it. So she wants some
Well,
kids
I
over.
assured her that if y'all bought it, y'all would make wonderful neighbors and they'd want to stay a long time.
Hope we don't disappoint them. Now, that's a lot to live up to.
Of course, I figure she's
Do you
already been
think
on
she
the
would
line.
bother the new barbecue? Do you think? We had planned, and we have already sent an invitation. No, I was wondering, are there any
I think
kids
she's already been on
anywhere?
the phone with Miss Donna, giving a full report.
Are there any kids anywhere? Do you know?
Okay, let me think about this. I do not think these people, those kids are like prime child having age type.
Okay.
But I don't think they've had it. They've been there about 5 years, but I don't think they've had any kids.
Well, we'll just talk to them.
When you go up Franklin, there's probably a smattering. The people on Eastland that are like right there, okay, have 2 or 3 kids. No, maybe 4 now. She's a MD, and he's like Mr. Mom, so he sees
cool.
kids all the time.
Oh, that's me.
You'll have somebody to talk to.
And they're really nice people. And they're probably the most prolific child-bearing group over here.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a problem. I think once you settle in a neighborhood,
The kids crawl out of the
Well,
woodwork.
and also what happens in this kind of neighborhood, you tend to bond within a several block area because people are walking, and like down on Benson, which is probably 3 blocks down Franklin. There's like 2 families that have kids your age. You know, so I mean, it's not just your immediate street. You kind of tend to bond a little bit bigger. Right?
Yeah,
What
he says,
school
yeah.
would Will be?
He didn't know.
Yeah, a copy of the old listing here now. This one, let me see if I have a copy of the old listing.
Bundle boy. Is this sun in your eyes, boo boo boo?
Is the battery on? Oh, I did. That's how
Okay, so do we need to go out now and do anything about mechanical and electrical inspection, or do we wait until after we talk to Jan?
Yeah, let's just wait till we get together the contract from the top line, and then get together.
It was told me that I didn't need to bring brooms. Do you think that means that she doesn't expect for us to actually make an application back there?
I would, if he were available, I'd go ahead and take him too, because there's some stuff he'll have to sign.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
well,
that's
see,
probably
we
what
have-
she's thinking.
My mom's
pretty qualified.
so she'll be able to watch it then.
True.
I'd go both go.
Let's do that.
But she
then.
probably
Could
thinks
you
you're just
meet me
pre-qualified.
At work at 4? I mean, at her office at 4.
What?
Right.
Yeah. We'll do.
Okay, here are the schools as listed. Cora Powell, which is down on Greenwood, which is like, that's the elementary. Go down here to the next stop, take a right, that's Greenwood, about 2 blocks up. I think there's maybe like a K through 3 and then a 4, 5, 6. This doesn't tell me where the 4, 5, 6 is.
Well,
But then the East Junior High, which is the one right over here on Gallatin Road. you went back down to Kroger and took about 3 blocks that way, would be on your right, the old East High School.
Okay.
And then Stratford High, which is about,
Maybe we'll move back.
well, I don't think Stratford's as bad as the image may be. And they had some gun problems this year, but I tend to think
Well, the only place
good
anybody
things
got
tend to
killed-
come out of controversy. And the parents kind of created a group and have been working with the school, and I
Yeah.
than to think that may be more beneficial than
The only school in which a child has been killed this year is in Green Hills.
Well, we don't promote that. But I mean, it's horrible and sad, when that kind of thing happens. But I'm just
I
saying.
thought the same thing when you said Stratford. I thought, but
I don't know
nobody's
that
been
it's-
killed there.
And again, but you've got a few years. What age is the other one?
7. He'll be in second.
Okay, so you've got quite a few years before.
We'll not do it. We'll see what happens.
And
I'm going really well
long
off
term,
enough that we'll be going to private school at that point.
well, I was going to say, or the
Yeah.
magnet schools continue to have great potential.
Yeah. Well, I
Because
went to
they're
a
all
magnet
in-town oriented, except now it's kind of a lottery, I think. You can have a
Yeah.
bright kid and still not get in.
Yeah, you had
That's
said
all right. Well, you
So I
can
think those
still,
have got great potential.
It's worth a pop, though. Whatever you do, there's always a solution. Whatever problem you have with something.
Well, and I
always
kind of
fix it.
tend to, I went to UT to school. I grew up in Virginia, and so a lot of my friends went to VPI and University of Virginia. And so they go, oh, you're going to UT, because it doesn't have,
big
when you
credential.
think about academic institutions, University of Tennessee is not the one that just like comes to the top of the crowd. But my contention is if a kid really wants to get an education, at any school,
He gets what he wants.
and I grew up in a very rural area and went to a rather, we thought engineers drove trains. That's the only thing we knew engineers. I really think.
They do.
I'm jealous of it.
But I really think if you want to get a good education, you can. The only ones, Warner School in Edgeville is probably one of the tougher ones because it draws from such a project setting that people have had their kids there are not so concerned about the quality of the education, but the socialization.
Oh,
Yeah.
The
sure.
smartest kids, and you're only pushed so far, and that's been the real sort of problem.
Well,
The curve.
our neighborhood that we're in now is not the best schools in the world either.
Well,
I've had a couple of run-ins with the teachers sending home notes that were grammatically incorrect and misspelled.
Little
Teacher
mimeographs you
sending
sent
home.
home with misplaced apostrophes, and that's not a possessive. He's screaming, two used washing machine apostrophe. Yes, you're a teacher, for God's sake.
This is who my son's learning to spell from.
Yeah, it can be kind of sad sometimes.
So anyway.
Of course, I've contended. Of course, I'm biased, but the last 20 years, the dedication and the quality of the teachers aren't what they were when I was growing up. Because they were teachers for 40 years, and that's when teaching was a
Noble
esteem.
profession.
Yeah, it was it was something, and people did it, and they took pride in it. And now it seems to me not so much the case.
I wanted to ask you something I forgot. Do you have any idea how old this edition is?
She can tell you.
It says
Actually,
established
because today
1956.
she was going, oh, I like the house much better before they put the addition on. Of course, the detracting part is the siding going this way. If the siding was going this way,
Yeah,
it would
I
be
know.
much more attractive.
We've already had this discussion.
Anyway, she can tell you exactly
Why
because
would you not try
She
to match
said-
it up with the rest of the house?
he went into this story about how one morning he woke up, he was having his breakfast and heard this popping sound and looked out, and the garage that was back here was on fire, and the man's boat was in the garage. Anyway, after the garage burned down, this somehow got built on. I don't know, but they can tell you. They can tell you more than you would ever want to know about this house.
I can
Between
tell
living
that.
here and
Oh,
living next door.
that can be very handy.
Oh, it can.
Though, but
If they move to Florida,
I must
we've got
ask.
to make an offer on those next door. Just follow their footsteps and then live there until we move to Florida.
It's a gorgeous house.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I
The
love
yard's
it.
so pretty.
That's me. I'm not a contractor, but
Well, it's just like paneling. It's cheaper to tack
You
up.
put it
this
on
stuff that covers
sideways?
a big sheet.
Paneling is cheaper than even drywall.
Well, it's cheaper installation
yeah, it's easy
because
to
you
put
can
up.
do it and you can do it yourself. You just get little nails and tack it up, and then it's done. Whereas drywall, you got to finish it.
Yeah, float it and paint it.
Same thing here. It takes time to put. Except they make that masonite that looks a lot like lap siding.
As long as it doesn't. We'll take care of
Well,
that, dear.
Eventually,
Who-
with our
who
$100
didn't
a
think-
month that we're saving,
Who
maybe
didn't
we
think
put
it was a big
aside.
deal and who didn't like it?
Huh?
Which one of you didn't like it or which one? You
Oh,
didn't
we
like this?
both.
Oh no,
You
we
know,
discussed it. We
We
were
both, like we
What
came
up
by
with
and
that?
we took video of the whole outside, and we're looking at it going,
Why
why?
did you do
Why
that?
did they do that? Just.
We were in
But
agreement.
that's okay.
We're pretty much in agreement on everything except that ceiling in there. I'm sorry.
I love it. I love it. It's authentic. It's cool.
It looks
cool.
dirty.
I tell you what, we'll ask Jeff and Stuart, and if they say it's cool, it stays.
Oh yeah, well that's
I was at
definitely
United
true.
Paint when there was this lady hanging over the counter with this ruling decision making on whether to get the silver or the gold glitter.
Oh, God.
To go on her ceiling.
Well, it's not cool if you do it on purpose. It's only cool if it was already there. If we clean it and it looks real cool and glittery, let's leave it, okay? Please,
What she
please.
doesn't know is you can't clean those ceilings with a texture.
I
You
was
have to
gonna
paint
say
over.
you have to paint over it.
Okay, well,
Thank you.
we'll
I
clean
knew
it,
Also,
that.
I've
because I
seen
can't
several
live with
people
it dirty.
take like a hoe and just rake all the top off and then paint it. And it gets rid of that heavy
You've got to
texture.
be kidding.
Looks a lot better.
Or you just
Really?
scrape
That,
it. You
that
essentially
heavy
just
texture
scrape it.
just is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the difference
Two
between
against
a
one,
nice
you're
pile
ganging
carpet
up on me.
and
But you
shag
can get
carpet.
some new glitter to put back on.
Just put it up there.
You're getting the wrong the
Mirror
uncool.
And a mirror ball.
We're getting
That's
in the
one
wrong with it.
criteria to living over here is you have to have a sense of humor. If you lose that,
Well, shit, we've got that in spades.
the other requirement for you know
Oh,
whether you're,
sorry, I didn't mean to
whether
say
you're going to
that.
make it or not is there's a little hole in the wall restaurant over here that sometime when you're over you need to get called the Knife and Fork.
Sounds
And
yummy.
it's a meat and three, and it's just kind of, you know, the dark paneling, pretty ugly. Good food
though.
where the locals eat. You know, it's real
Well,
weird.
we're definitely not proud.
real
We'll eat
weird
anywhere.
group over there.
No, I love
Did you ever go to San Antonio? Some of the best Mexican restaurants are over on St. Mary's, little hole-in-the-wall places. That's where I went to school.
Nasty.
They
just get good
were
food.
so good though.
Great food, but nasty. You walk in.
Well, it'd be like, you know, the Mexican mother, father's in the back cooking, the mother's taking the orders, and the girls are running the food, and there's, you know, 3 Formica tables, straight out of some 1952 diner.
We need to fly.
Yes.
I'm gonna check.
He's
No,
got
we're gonna
things
check.
to do.
Well, we do need to go. We gotta go
Because
get
I
our
have
other
no
boy.
watch, no pen, no card, so I'm really doing well today.
That's not your
Trade
car.
cards with you.
No, my long story, my radiator. I thought it was a water pump, but we think it's the radiator.
Oh, shit.
Oh no.
Okay,
No,
it may be
Jesus.
Sunday before I get back to you. Just as I hear something.
Well, I'm excited.
We appreciate
Hope it works
it.
out.
I said she's probably already been on the phone giving a complete report to Miss Dunhoe.
Well, I hope
Thank
it's
you.
positive. Thank you, Andy.
Tell Will hello.
Appreciate it.
Tell him
Okay.
We'll do so.
What is the little one's name?
John. Because my name is so difficult, we gave our children simple names.
Well, yours is only difficult when you're working at your job. Is that what you go by normally?
Right. People who know me as Sybil. And then, like, for businesses and stuff, it's so much easier just to go ahead and
Right.
give them my first name.
3 times I've called and she answers, and it's just like this dull pause because I'm like completely disoriented. Like going, is Diane there? You know.
Well, everybody knows who you mean.
And then I'm like,
Who is this?
All my business related calls get Diane, you know. But then, you know, I'll let you call me Sybil after we buy the house.
okay. Bye.
Wait, your pen. What if you have to go
Oh
over
my
to see
God.
people that you're
Write
going
another time.
to? Yeah, you never know.
What if that happened?
I was gonna say something ugly, but I won't.
What?
I was gonna say, after living in Antioch, East Nashville looks like a garden.
No, I told you we weren't proud.
I think. Well, everybody lives there once in a while because there's so many apartments and stuff out there.
Yeah.
That's
there
it.
I
are.
lived on Harding Place when I first did that. But I think that when I show property up, it just depresses me to no end.
It's depressing.
The quality of the construction and the neighborhood, some of them are looking real seedy. You know,
I want those
and all the
little
exposed cinder block above the ground.
right, and all those same little rectangle houses are so ugly.
And they, you know, the only question is, have they gone downstairs and finished off the rec room, and what kind of paneling, what color shade of carpet did they put in? That's the only.
That's the question.
I was going to ask you. You saw the basement of this house. Do you think it would be humanly possible to ever make that a finished basement? No.
It would be humanly possible. I don't think it would be financially feasible.
Well, say we were foolish.
I mean, we had a guy who dug a complete basement out of Memphis house.
Really?
You know, because he's a guitar maker. He wanted to shop at the house. I mean, it can be done, but
Well, if you've got time, you'll spend every weekend down there with a
yeah.
shovel.
Plus, he
and a hoe.
spent quite a bit of money because I mean, there were some things he couldn't. I mean, like masonry.
Yeah, because there's some serious rock down there.
You'd be far better to come out the back than that on
Well,
or something, in my opinion. Or is it? You know, there's probably not enough space actually up to justify it. Oh, yeah, it's probably a little shallow there for a road.
Yeah.
The money you better spend heading on. Although what'll happen, you'll be here 5 years, then you'll be ready for the other house.
oh yeah,
That's what keeps
I'm
us
sure.
alive.
Well, we're glad you're alive. Bye.
Thanks,
thank
Andy.
you.
Take care, man.